Welcome back to the channel, it's LtBuzzLitebeer, and we've got more Helldivers on deck, including a fluid major order as the Illuminate are now planet hopping all over the place. We've got a new update patch. The devs have leak answers for us, a couple tips for Helldivers for one of your favorite support stratagems, and a whole lot more. Thanks so much for all the continued support, and in case you haven't done so already, take just a moment to hit subscribe as it's free and it really helps out the channel get noticed and promoted in the YouTube algorithms. Likes, comments, and shares do much the same, and while you're here, please ring that notification bell so you never miss one of my future upload alerts. So let's get into all the latest from Helldivers. Starting off for today is the Superstore reset with the alternate UF-84 Doubt Killer armor featuring the unflinching passive talent. Now, for those of you who didn't pick up this medium armor set back when the Truth Enforcer's Warbond dropped, it was kind of controversial back then with its high pricing models, but for those of you looking to get your Jin-roh Wolf Brigade RP going in full effect, you've got just about 19 hours to do so before the store resets again. Next up, Helldivers got a new update patch this morning that was about 168 megs for me on PC, and it included 8 crash fixes. Things like hot joining missions were mentioned here. Also, when large amounts of destruction is taking place, aka any Illuminate mission right now in the city biomes. There's others here for when joining or leaving another player's ship, when certain explosions occur, calling in vehicle stratagems, or last one here is huge, listen to this, a crash that would occur when fighting in a colony map. Now, I've started seeing an increased stream of posts from players mentioning stability issues, and I think some of this is being brought on by just the sheer server loads and players that are flooding back to take on the Illuminate, but some of this is also on the game itself and the optimization. Here's hoping that this morning's patch can at least sort out the majority of the issues, because players are overwhelmingly loving Omens of Tyranny and the Illuminate, and the last thing we need right now is a slew of game-breaking stability issues and more crashes. The Illuminate are planet hopping all over the place, and their current point of attack has now shifted yet again, and we already had an indication that this would be happening when this dispatch popped up reading, Illuminate incursions ongoing, MOG has come under attack. It is now clear that these attacks represent an ongoing wave of unprovoked aggression from the no longer eradicated species. The parameters of the Major Order will continue to be adjusted dynamically in response to the ongoing situation. The Helldivers are ordered to fight the Illuminate on all emerging battlefronts. To recap, yesterday we started off fighting the Illuminate on Genesis Prime. Then MOG was added on, and today, both those planets are no longer available, and instead, we are in the Guang sector on Bellatrix. Now, if anything, the Helldivers are currently getting treated to all sorts of different biomes. Genesis Prime was dark, foggy, and a mix of water and forested islands. MOG was basically Star Wars Hoth, and Bellatrix has rolling hills, rocks, and sunlight. Let me know if you think this fluid major order mechanic is working for you or not. Would you prefer to stand our ground on a single planet and see it through to the end? Or do you like this small sampling with skirmishes kind of here and there? I look forward to reading your comments on this one down below. Currently, Bellatrix has about 60,000 divers in total on it, and at that number, we are picking up about 8% an hour, with victory estimated, at least according to the Helldivers companion app, to take about another 4 hours. Now, if anything, the Illuminate have been just the shot of adrenaline Helldivers needed. Those new city biomes, the different enemies, different strategies to take them on, and a new warbond as well. Yeah, it's been great to see, and keep up the good work out there, divers. Helldivers has a new developer gameplay breakdown and trailer that just dropped to YouTube for the Illuminate and Omens of Tyranny. And by the way, I'm going to include a link down in the video description and make it easy for you so you can go check it out. And this one features not only Johan and Nicholas, but also Josef, the game director, and Steven, the senior writer on the game. Now, this one goes into more about the Illuminate lore, especially the Voteless, with a little bit of new information as well. And of course, all the zany and wild clips they are known to show off in their trailers, with Helldivers dying to all sorts of enemy attacks. They also discuss the Overseers, Harvesters, and the colonies themselves, and I recommend, again, you go check it out for yourselves. Also, shout out to Johan's shirt. It's been a hot minute since I saw anything to do with Dragonbane. I also wanted to give a quick mention to one of your favorite support stratagems, the Laser Guard Dog Rover, which is incredible versus the Illuminate frontline troops, but it also has a couple of other strengths and a feature not every Helldiver knows about. First is that this thing has incredible range, capable of locking onto even elevated Overseers and Watchers to quickly down them. It's also not affected by weather, so it can lock onto targets even in a blizzard, and you can use it to spot enemies coming at you even when you cannot see them for yourselves. And finally, this feature was actually added in a recent update. Players now have the ability to deploy and recall the guard dog back to its landing pad on your backpack. Now on PC, I press 5 to deploy and recall the drone, so you can actually pull it down when you're trying to be stealthy or not trying to fry a teammate caught in a crossfire, and then immediately redeploy it when you want to press your attack. Moving along, and I've been reading your comments about Calypso and how this was another Malevelon Creek, or it was the Illuminate Malevelon Creek, and we need to swing back around and compare those numbers, because as intense as the creek was, and I know all about it because I was there standing right alongside my fellow divers, Calypso completely overshadows what we did on the creek, at least in terms of the sacrifices made. Now for comparison, we lost over 25 million divers to the creek, and that was spread over an intense campaign. Calypso saw a few days of fighting, and we lost almost 38.5 million divers in that first skirmish. Now, our efforts on the creek, dubbed Space Vietnam, earned us the Heroes of the Fallen Cape, and with what went down on Calypso in round 1 of the Illuminate, I'm thinking we need another cape to commemorate our sacrifices versus the Illuminate. By the way, I love the Hero's Cape, but how would you feel about a Calypso Illuminate Cape, and what would you name it? Leave me some feedback and thoughts on it all. I'm interested to see what you have to say. Now over to the developers and some leak information coming from one of the devs who responded to this galactic war screen that appeared on a PlayStation Access video that aired a few days ago, back when the Illuminate attacked, and it clearly shows the Illuminate on Mog, and the major order was to defend Calypso, defend against 3 attacks in the Rictus sector and 5 attacks in the Morgan sector, leading to theories that this was what was upcoming for the Illuminate in terms of a major order. Now, the Mog and Calypso portions have been the only 2 items that did actually happen, with those planets appearing and disappearing rather quickly. But also on a side note, and a point of interest, is on this screenshot, if you take a look in the upper left-hand side where it says Helldivers Active, that shows 0. Now, this very question of the galactic map showing up days ahead of time in a PlayStation Access video was posted to the Helldivers Discord, and community manager Mitchimus did say, quote, "The map status is just for a test environment for a press event." So, there we go. Although, I'm just throwing this out there that I would like to know how to get into these press events, because I would totally be down to try out the new content before it goes live. Sticking with the developers, and one area that was truly amazing was how many divers logged back into the game and the sheer number of players that all dove onto Calypso to defend the planet against the Illuminate. That defense was set at a level 96, which is by far the highest and most difficult amount of resistance we have ever faced, and we pushed the squids off the planet in 3 days. That question was also sent to the devs, asking if Joel and the others on the development team were surprised by what the Helldivers were able to accomplish, and again, we get a response from Mitchimus. We were all super surprised, Joel especially. Now, a level 96 was basically a no-win scenario, and on paper, the Helldivers should have been flattened, but we ended up pulling it off with something under 30 minutes to go on that major order timer. But, you know, if you think about it, this is the same Helldivers community that took on Big Bad Sony in real life and got them to back off of the mandatory PSN PC linking requirements, whereas they have not done the same for any of their recent PC releases on Steam. Now, we weren't without casualties in that battle, as we lost over 170 countries and regions, and I would also fully expect Sony to be regrouping and planning another route of attack, but once again, the Helldivers have proven their might in battle. Next up is more things we are seeing and learning about the Voteless, and this clip I found over on the Helldivers Reddit from Den Atlantis shows a new and alternate death animation they managed to capture from one of the Voteless, performing what looks like the Ace Ventura spear in each leg scream animation, which you can now see here side by side for comparison. Man, these things are cool to watch. And I also found this one kind of interesting as well from Swim Dude with over 6,500 upvotes. It says, petition to rename the FRV to the Helldriver. Now, I didn't clip it, but the first comment actually says, no, that's what you call the person sitting in the driver's seat. Overall, lots of positives happening right now with Helldivers. And by the way, if there's a topic or article you're wanting to see covered here on the channel, make sure to include it in a comment, and I'll do my best to make it happen. Remember to hit subscribe and ring that notifications bell to stay up to date on my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including links to all of today's sources, can of course be found down in the video description. We are now at 249,000 channel subscribers, only 1K away from the mythical mountaintop of 250K, and I've got my eyes set on making this happen by the end of the year. So in case you haven't done so, please hit subscribe. Again, it supports the channel, it's free, and we'd love to have you along for the ride as we make that push up to 250. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.